Hey guys, I wanted to talk today about programming specifically from church or religious upbringing. Um, I personally was brought up in a church that turned out to be a cult, and they actually have even done a Netflix episode on it. I think the series is called Haunted, and I'm just getting to the point in the journey where it's really opening up to me the extent of how, I feel really sick even saying this, the extent to how deep this actually goes. And I wanted to share because it's part of the evolution, it's part of the path that we're going to be faced with all of these parts of us. Now, last week, I actually had an experience where I was able to become aware and remove a very significant energetic cord that had been attached when I was very young, from the church. It's making me feel sick. It's interesting. And ever since I've removed it, I'm becoming aware of just how much it was taking and giving as well, energetically, and creating a lot of confusion. And it's almost like this cord was a connection to the belief and the rules of the church. So I actually did a video earlier about Spirit said to me that I will be assisting people in removing these cords. Now, if you've had any connection with religion, you would have one of these cords. I would be highly surprised if you didn't. I'm also getting shown in my mind's eye that some churches have scriptures actually written in the walls. And it's agreement. It's energetic agreements to give the power, give your energy to these forces. And, parts of me want to say that it's not all bad, and it's not. But anything that takes away your own sovereignty is not good. And that's your own personal decision to agree or deny that. But I am very, very much on the path of the self-mastery, and giving that away to anything other than your true self is not self-mastery. So this video is specifically for those who may resonate with the inability to express themselves or even struggle with pleasure. And so why I want to do this video is because there's a huge aspect of a lot of these religions that have to do with pleasure. And what this is like your sexual nature and what you are, what sexually arouses you. And I can just feel so much happening while I'm talking, sorry. Basically, it can have altered who you've been your whole life, and how you felt about the things that you felt. And this is because, in it, with one of these energetic cords, it's constantly pumping this stuff, and you're feeding your energy, but you're also connected to all these beliefs and thought forms and patterns that are having an influence on how you are as a person. And for those of you who watch Netflix or watch the series Haunted, the church that I went to, the specific episode was about I think it was a gay guy who told his parents that he was gay, and then they told the church, and then they ended up sending him to a place to get tortured. So all of this stuff that's coming up within me now is resonating a lot because there's so much programming and there's been so much indoctrination, like on just so many levels, I can't even explain it. But what I'm experiencing now when I was just writing for my writing group is the fact that how much I have felt that when I feel to express or desire pleasure sexually, this massive thing comes over me that I'm not to do it and I'm not worthy of it or whatever. I can't pinpoint the actual feeling. It's just like you're bad or wrong. That's what it is. And so what's super interesting is since removing that cord, I can actually feel all of these parts of me that are presenting to allow themselves to be seen now that I've removed this cord. And so what it's doing is it's showing me just how much I have been rejecting everything that I felt and how much I've hammered myself for actually desiring pleasure and wanting to feel good and even joy. It's so much bad and wrong feelings in there. Like you're this if you think this way and you're that. And I believe that some of you, there's so much happening sexually with preferences and identity and things on the planet. So it's obviously like very, very intertwined in the collective. And even the video I made before that I didn't post showed me this huge like spider webbing of energetic connection that's actually been created by these churches. And what it's doing is feeding all of this sexual energy back to the church. And it might be going to the heads of the churches, but lower negatively polarized, sorry, I've got a lot happening. Negatively polarized entities and energies cannot generate their own energy. So they have to get it from somewhere. So on the 3D physical level, it can look to be that it's the heads of these places, but they're just the ones that we can physically see without gifts. There's a lot of stuff that's they're feeding through all of this energy that they're taking from other people. And they've been doing this for a long time. They have perfected this process. And we've all guaranteed to have lives in a church. 100%. I would guarantee, unless you're a new soul now, which I don't even think I'm not feeling, it feels like it's everybody has a tie into this. And unless you specifically remove this cord and attachment, it can be having an effect on your life in many different ways, depending on what stream or what strand you're coming from. And it's not something that you can just remove by, like I cut cords all the time, do everything that's not for my highest and greatest good. But it's very important to understand that these cords have actually been agreed to. So even though it's like they're taking power, we're actually willingly giving it away because we're unaware of what we'd agreed to. And because we agreed, and this can be, like I said, I keep getting shown like it's written in the walls. So when you're actually stepping into the building, you are agreeing to these things. Which is why Spirit's saying, because I was going to do a video to remove these cords, but I'm getting told it has to be individual because some of these could be very, very intense like mine was. And it's just the beginning. Like the amount of stuff that's opening up now since I've removed it is huge. So if you're feeling like this might be you would probably feel it. know and feel it right now that may be happening to you, especially if you've had any sort of even schooling of a religious nature, or baptized, or any of those things. It's hectic. But the good news is everything's able to be changed. And, you know, it's going to take months, if not years, for all of my energy to be returned to me, because it's been since I was little. And everything can be changed. So, because you are a sovereign being of light, it's extremely important to know that you can be giving this light away without even realizing it. And so let yourself really sit with that if you feel like it's you, and reach out so we can get rid of these cords. Or if you have your own process, please do it. And please share this message, because the visuals I got are huge. Like how big this actually is, and what we're actually feeding. And this is why often it's so hard or it can be difficult for us to shine, because we can be actually giving away a lot of this energy to a lot of different places without really consciously being aware. So yeah, if this resonates with you, contact me. You can always contact me with the in the description box. There's ways to contact me if you need a session to remove this. And I'm hearing 20 to 45 minutes for it to do it, depending on what your connection is. And I will get told intuitively what kind of a process will be required for that. So yeah, be sure to really feel into this one, and highly recommend it when you can get around to it. And of course, always share with somebody that you know that's been heavily involved, or their families have been involved with the church, because us being the children, it's automatically agreed. That's what I'm getting told. It's automatically agreed to as a child, and the parents have agreed to all sorts of things that we specifically as children didn't agree to in this lifetime, but also didn't not agree. So because we're so young, it can be in Sunday school, it can be, yeah, it's pretty full on. So sending lots of love, and make sure you contact me if needed. All right, guys, see ya.